Most people assume financial progress is mostly about effort, discipline, or intelligence. Yet, if you look closely at how modern economic systems actually function, you begin to notice a quieter pattern beneath everyday life. One where many people are constantly moving, yet rarely gaining meaningful financial distance. Someone works longer hours, earns slightly more income, upgrades their lifestyle in small, reasonable ways, and still feels trapped in the same psychological position they occupied years earlier. The numbers change, but the emotional experience remains strangely familiar because the system is not only shaped by income, it is shaped by invisible mathematical pressure accumulating over time. One of the most misunderstood ideas in personal finance is that stagnation rarely feels dramatic while it is happening. In reality, financial stagnation often feels productive because modern economies reward visible activity rather than long-term positioning. A person may feel financially responsible because they pay bills on time, maintain subscriptions, upgrade devices occasionally, and continue increasing consumption alongside income growth. Yet mathematically, the gap between survival and true financial flexibility may barely move at all. This creates a dangerous psychological illusion, where motion feels identical to progress. The reason this happens becomes clear when you examine compounding from both directions. Most people understand that investments can compound positively over time, but very few recognize that expenses, inflation, debt obligations, and lifestyle expectations also compound with extraordinary consistency. A salary increase of 10% feels meaningful emotionally because humans experience income changes immediately, while gradual cost expansion happens quietly in the background where the brain adapts almost automatically. Rent increases slightly, convenient spending becomes normalized, food prices shift upward, and recurring digital services slowly multiply until the baseline cost of existing becomes structurally heavier than before. At the same time, behavioral economics shows that human beings quickly normalize improvements in living standards. Psychologists sometimes refer to this as hedonic adaptation, where external improvements stop producing emotional impact after repeated exposure. The result is that financial upgrades often become permanent expectations instead of temporary rewards. A larger apartment no longer feels luxurious after several months. Faster delivery services become perceived necessities. More expensive routines quietly become emotional defaults. Over time, the financial system benefits from this adaptation because normalized consumption stabilizes continuous spending behavior across entire populations. Historically, this pattern is not entirely new. During multiple periods of rapid economic expansion, particularly in post-industrial economies, rising productivity created the appearance of widespread financial acceleration. Yet household obligations expanded alongside income growth. As consumer credit systems evolved, individuals gained access to lifestyles previously unavailable to them. But access to consumption is not identical to ownership of stability. Many households became increasingly dependent on uninterrupted income streams simply to maintain ordinary modern life. The structure rewarded participation while quietly penalizing interruption. This is where the mathematics become important because wealth accumulation is often less about income size and more about the distance between income growth and obligation growth. If obligations expand at nearly the same speed as earnings, the long-term outcome changes very slowly even across decades. A person earning significantly more than they did 10 years earlier may still possess very little financial resilience because resilience is created by retained surplus, not visible income alone. The brain, however, tends to focus on absolute numbers rather than ratios, which is why many people emotionally associate higher earnings with security, even when the underlying math remains fragile. There is also a deeper psychological layer underneath this system. Human beings are heavily influenced by relative positioning, meaning people often evaluate financial success socially rather than mathematically. Someone earning more money than before may still feel financially behind if their surrounding environment continuously shifts upward as well. This creates an endless recalibration process where satisfaction moves further away each time progress is made. In many cases, the pressure is not created by poverty itself, but by comparison-driven expectations attached to modern identity. The modern economy amplifies this effect because digital platforms constantly expose people to curated lifestyles, accelerated consumption patterns, and subtle status signaling disguised as ordinary life. What once appeared luxurious now appears average simply because repeated exposure changes perception. Behavioral economists have long observed that humans adapt their expectations faster than they adapt their long-term planning habits, which creates an environment where consumption decisions often happen emotionally, while financial consequences emerge mathematically years later. The math behind staying financially stuck is therefore not always dramatic debt or catastrophic decisions. More often, it is the slow convergence between rising income and rising dependency. The closer these two lines move together, the harder it becomes to create genuine flexibility. Financial freedom in mathematical terms is not necessarily about extreme wealth. It is often about reducing the ratio between required obligations and available resources so that time, decision-making, and uncertainty become less economically threatening. What makes this difficult is that modern systems frequently reward short-term participation more visibly than long-term restraint. Consumption creates immediate emotional reinforcement, while disciplined financial positioning may feel invisible for years. Humans naturally prioritize visible rewards over abstract future stability because the brain evolved to respond strongly to immediate environmental feedback. This is why many financially intelligent people still struggle with long-term optimization, even when they fully understand the numbers intellectually. Over time, however, small structural decisions begin separating outcomes dramatically. A modest recurring surplus invested consistently over long periods behaves differently from income consumed entirely through lifestyle expansion. The difference may appear small initially, but compounding eventually transforms tiny behavioral gaps into large structural differences. This is one reason financial outcomes between similar earners often diverge sharply over decades, despite comparable salaries. The deeper realization is that financial systems do not merely operate through money alone. They operate through attention, habits, emotional adaptation, social comparison, and time horizons. People who understand this begin viewing wealth less as a display of consumption and more as a form of optionality, the ability to absorb uncertainty without immediate collapse, the ability to make decisions without constant economic pressure, and the ability to separate identity from visible spending patterns. In the end, the mathematics behind financial stagnation are not hidden because they are complicated. They are hidden because gradual change rarely triggers emotional alarm. Human psychology notices sudden loss immediately, but slow structural erosion can continue for years without attracting serious attention. By the time many people recognize the pattern, they are not dealing with one large financial mistake, but thousands of tiny normalized decisions that quietly shape the direction of their lives over time.